Welcome to Sunday Politics on Trust TV. I'm Ilyasu Gadu. Tonight, we focus on the decision by U.S. President Donald Trump's administration to list Nigeria as a country of particular concern, along with this threat of possible military action against what we call Islamists killing Christians. The move has stirred global reactions, with many in the Muslim community describing it as biased and politically motivated, while some analysts believe it could pressure Nigeria to deal more firmly with violent extremist groups. On Sunday Politics tonight, we'll examine the diplomatic, strategic, humanitarian, and security implications of this designation and what it means for Nigeria's foreign relations going forward. Joining us today is Professor Sadeeque Abba, a professor of international relations at the University of Abuja. Prof, welcome to this program.
Thank you very much, and it's a pleasure being here.
So, well, we've had it. President Trump of America has decided to designate Nigeria as a country of, particular concern in terms of what is alleged to be the genocide on Christians in Nigeria. And of course, this has stirred a lot of reactions from far and wide, from within Nigeria and outside Nigeria. What do you think President Trump is playing at? What are his intentions regarding this, this designation and possible military action on Nigeria?
First and foremost, I think it's not something that is surprising. It's expected, it's anticipated. We look forward to that because there are a lot of historical antecedents in the history of Nigeria in the last 2 years of Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administrations that pointed to that particular directions. There are some administrative, political, diplomatic, and business shenanigans that informed and manipulate and mobilize America's government decisions and indecisions in this particular dispensation under Donald Trump. So fundamentally, there are a lot of groups and individuals across the globe that were not surprised when Trump made that statement, because a lot of reasons were pointing to that. But apart from that, now you may ask, is that particular position justified? That's the concern of Nigerians, especially.
Now, I want to just interject. What would you make of Trump's decision on this score? Does that make him a Christian evangelist, or is he just a reckless adventurist? Because people.
He's both.
So both. Let's know.
Fundamentally, you see, Christian evangelism and republicanism globally stood firmly and solidly behind him during his campaigns, mobilized and funded his campaigns, gave him agendas, checklists, talking points, what to do and what not to do in government, and he's implementing it. That's not, it cannot be doubted. And two, also, if you're looking at his personality, he is somebody who is reckless and absent-minded, foolishly intelligent, smartly foolish at the same time. But at the end of the day, he is not a personality that looks at the interests of an average American on the street and takes decisions and take positions that can enhance and engender the livelihood, the welfare, and the well-being of an average American. So he translates these particular positions and decisions outside American boundaries into a global phenomena. That is why the concern of global humanity is.
But okay, I mean, people seem to say Trump, has become so exasperated at the spate of killings in the country. I mean, for the past, up to 2 decades now, the killings have been going on in various parts of Nigeria, and then it appears that all entreaties to the Nigerian government, successive Nigerian governments, to end these killings has yielded no fruits. Even the military itself, some of the people in the military have kept saying, look, people can take the arms and defend themselves. That's an admission of failure. And then seeing that this has gone on unabated, perhaps that, there could be some justification in what Trump is trying to do in Nigeria, at least to try to get the government of Nigeria to be more serious about handling this issue. What can you say to that?
But fundamentally, you see, we shall not put the cart before the horse. You see, we ask ourselves, if there have been insecurity and instability in Nigeria in the last 2 decades, now you ask fundamental questions. Whose guns are being used by these bandits and terrorists? Whose bombs are being used? Who is funding those particular bandits and terrorists? And from whose industries across the globe that these bandits are getting those particular supplies, and who are benefiting from it day in, day out. So you see, you cannot just sit down because they are killing people, you say it is this group or it is that group. Ask, what is the sources of their own armory and ammunitions? What is the sources of their own, or what are the sources of their own funding resources? Cash, dollar, euro, pound, sterling, etc., pound. So you see, these are questions. As far as I'm concerned, there is evidence, scientific evidence by an American congressman that is interrogating American security intelligence that you have been giving $40 million to Boko Haram in Nigeria. So we ask, who are those people in America that has interest in destabilizing Nigeria in the last 2 decades? And look, both America and NATO are complicit in the instability that we are experiencing in Nigeria. Okay. Because the removal of Gaddafi in Libya opened the window for ISWAP, for Boko Haram, for ISIS to take over West Africa. If you say, but who created ISWAP? Who created ISIS? Who created Boko Haram? So we should broaden our own scope so that we'll understand who are responsible for what.
For instance, now, if you are a Christian in Nigeria, in where some of these killings are taking place, and you see bandits or supposed bandits coming in to kill people from your communities, raid the place, burn down the place, kill babies, destroy the communities, what would you be feeling? That these people are coming to our communities not twice, not once, not twice, several times, and they've done it with impunity. What would you be feeling? Let's take a look at it. I will feel
there is failure of governance, and I will hold my government responsible for these failures. And governance is not about Mr. President. That is the mistake Nigerians are making. What about the local government chairman in your community? What about your councillor? What about your House of Assembly member? What about your governor? What about your House of Reps? What about your senator? What about the governor? Before you go to the president, there are levels.
But the governor said, he doesn't have any control over security.
They are lying.
Security
the governors
apparatus
are more interested in the spec of office than governing people. If the presidency and the federal government denied you governance in your own community, did you resign? How many governors resign? How many senators resign? How many House of Reps members resign? How many chairmen of local government in Nigeria resign? Mr. Ilyasu, none, because they put their own personal interest over and above people's interest. Look, this insecurity is business. Look, insecurity now is an international business. It is a foreign policy tool of almost every developed nation on earth. Because the primary sources of power and resources for the past 150 to 155 years is no longer there. The world has been transformed. So they have to reject their own foreign policies to use insecurity, wars as foreign policy instruments.
Okay, let's on that score, let's look at Trump's perspective. He said, okay, I'm tired of you Nigerians. You have not been able to live up to your responsibilities to your people. People are being killed and all that. And he, of course, signed the bill into law that designates Nigeria as a country of particular concern. But shortly after that, to demonstrate, in his perspective now, to demonstrate his seriousness, he said, look, we're even going to go further. We're going to even put Nigeria on the crosshairs. There's going to be military action to be contemplated if these killings do not stop. Don't you think he's actually telling the Nigerian government to clean up its acts, and is justified in doing that?
You see, first and foremost, there are two issues here. Number one, 2027 elections. What is the position of Tinubu as far as American government is concerned? Are they in support? Look, remember it happened in Nigeria in 2014 when the Obama government insisted that Jonathan must go. It's about American government's interest. And what Trump is doing today is about American government interest in Nigeria, especially in 2027 elections. What is the position of Tinubu as far as American interest is concerned, as far as 2027 is concerned? And if Trump is so, he's a Father Christmas, he has now, what do you call it? He's a born again in Christianity. He wants to bring peace globally. 4 days ago, they killed a lot of Americans. Charity should begin at home. That's the first thing. And where was Trump when they were killing Christians in Gaza? Where was Trump when they were killing Christians in Syria? Where was Trump when they were killing citizens in Lebanon? And when he was dropping bombs in Iran, there were Iranian Christians. When he invaded, US invaded Iraq for mass destruction, there are millions of Christians in Iraq who they were killed.
But in the case of Nigeria, Christians, Christian groups have made representations. Over the past few months, they have come out to say this is what is happening to us.
They are killing them in Nigeria.
They are killing them in Nigeria, in Benue, Yelwata, in Plateau, in Mangu areas and the other places, and in a number of areas in Nigeria.
If the Christian presented
so they are presenting their case to the American Congress, to the American, American government. They have made copious, data available to American government with which to prove their case. And on the basis of that, Americans decided to take action. Now, whatever you say about it, you cannot fault the Christians. It is up to, for instance, the Muslim groups or the government of Nigeria to say, look, we are following this lock in step, and to ensure that the correct position is conveyed to the American government. Was this done?
But even the Christian organization in Nigeria faulted the claim. Why should the Muslims waste their time to go and be
but they should. I mean,
the government says it's wrong, can't say it's wrong.
That is after the fact.
No.
That is after the fact.
No, even before this particular decision was taken, that Nigeria is under CPC, Christian Association of Nigeria said it's wrong. Government of Nigeria came out, gave out this statement that it's a lie. It's true. There are Nigerian Christians who say it's a lie. I have a lot of Christian friends. Some of them are my neighbors. Some of we grew up together from primary school. They say it's a lie. It's just an American way of invading countries. And I can assure you, look, we are not as volatile as Afghanistan. We are not as how do I call it, as robust and prepared as Iranians. But they shouldn't take Nigeria for granted. I'm telling you, if America is coming to Nigeria, and it's going to be Nigeria is going to be a graveyard of American imperialism. It's going to blow a whistle for Americans.
But how can you resist American intervention, military intervention in Nigeria, when even you are struggling with a ragtag bunch of
It's because we are not struggling. We were able to force the ragtag. You see, the intention. Look, people are forgetting. 15, 20 years ago, America sat down in Washington, said that Nigeria is going to be a failed state by November. You remember that?
Yes.
We disappointed them. It couldn't, because they wanted to do North-South crisis, Muslim-Christian crisis. It couldn't work. Now, Obasanjo came and fought that battle. Umar Yar'Adua came and neutralized it. And what happened? They created Boko Haram. They created the ISWAP. They created this, so that what they could not achieve to rule Nigeria, they are going through the back door.
From moving from country of particular concern to the direct threat of military intervention in Nigeria, as stated by Trump, and also by his defense or war secretary Peter Hegseth, that look, we are going to come in to protect Christians, to protect the Christian population in Nigeria. What are the implications for Nigeria? Because how do you imagine, and what are the implications for Nigeria when this thing happens?
The only thing I can say is that, is there a country that America entered to protect a certain interest, and those interests were protected. I am challenging anybody in the last 100 years. There is no single country on earth that America went into for the purpose of humanitarian or to pursue another interest. And the interest in the for the benefit of those particular citizens, there is none. There is no history. There is no record in history to tell that if America enters your country and they settle down and the next thing you begin to have peace and stability, the next thing they give you economic this thing, you get economic prosperity. It has never happened.
But there are some Nigerians who are actually happy, who are jubilating about this, and they are saying, look, it's about time that somebody, some power came into this country to sort things out, because it appears that we're having a failing government. Why? What do you make of that?
You see, those people, you are a Nigerian, I'm a Nigerian. Those who are protesters are Nigerians. If we say that the federal government is not working, this Nigerian project is not working, we are all Nigerians. Those who are jubilating, go back to their states. Is their state working? Is their local government working? Is their village working? Is his family? There is a statistical record. There is a result on research that says that 79% of Nigerian families are doing worse than Nigerian project. That is to say, Nigerian project, as bad as Nigerian project is not working. It's a colonial project. It's a colonial creation. It's not working. It should be disintegrated. It's better than 79% of Nigerian families. Those who are celebrating in Nigeria are worse than the Nigerian project. So if they want America to come, did America solve her own problem in America? Don't forget that there are some states now, they are under what we call in Nigeria state of emergency. Trump sent federal guys, securities, to intense securities in those states. And it's against the constitution of those particular states. It's even against the constitution of the American constitution. So, but the question is, if America comes, who is going to benefit in Nigeria? America.
But some are saying that, look, what Trump is doing is not about protecting Christian interests. After all, he himself doesn't behave like a typical Christian.
He's not like a Christian.
And that what the Americans are looking for in this country are something greater,
better.
Their own interests.
Yeah.
What are those interests by your own assessment?
Three things. Number one, to stop Tinubu from becoming president in 2027.
Really?
Yes, because Tinubu...
Are you sure on that?
I can swear with my Quran. Because Tinubu was among the people that contributed money to give it to Kamala Harris for her campaign. And Trump has vengeance. He will never forgive that. Look, what Trump is coming to Nigeria to do is not about Nigerians, Christians, or Nigerian Muslims. It's not about Northerners or Southerners. It's why did Tinubu, through France, mobilize? He's not alone. There are a lot of international presidents, including Macron, that mobilized money for Kamala Harris because they knew if Trump becomes American president, there's going to be a problem for the whole world. That's the first reason. Trump is getting back at Tinubu. And look, because Tinubu is quiet, meek, gentle, and humble, if you put your fingers into his mouth, he is not biting you. Doesn't mean that he can come and roughshod over Tinubu. Tinubu can fight back.
That's number one reason.
Okay, reason. Yeah. The second reason is, look, is the American stronghold in the Middle East is getting away, slipping away from their fingers. They needed another stronghold of energy resources.
What stronghold are you talking about?
The oil. In fact, as it is today, if people don't know, let me tell them categorically on this platform that the Arab kingdoms now are facing the greatest challenge of their lives. There are inside storms brewing politically, because the common men are tired of those kingdoms, and it's only America that is holding them. And America's intelligence has shown that they cannot keep on holding these people in the next 10, 15 years.
So they will have now turned to new areas.
Yes. So Nigeria is a very hot spot for them. Nigeria, Angola, you understand? Algeria. These are some of the areas that they are looking at. And I can tell you, some people are saying that, at energy experts all over the world are saying that the oil reserve in Nigeria is far more than any other Arab country, because it is energy policy that they are saying that Nigeria is beneath those particular Arab kingdoms. We have more energy resources than those Arabs. And America knew that better than anybody else. So this is the second reason. The third reason which is very, very fundamental, is that for the first time in so long a time, since Abacha, Tinubu was the first president in this country to look away from the Western world. In fact, France is the only friend Tinubu had. And France, Nigeria is not dependent on France. It is France and Macron that is dependent on Tinubu and Nigeria now.
Really?
Yes. If you are a follower of international politics.
But the French are having a lot of problems in their West African, former West African
That's
colonies.
why they are looking at Tinubu as a way out. Because Nigeria can directly or indirectly be able to bridge the gap. What they are losing in the Francophonie, Nigeria can bridge that gap for them. And Tinubu is trying his best.
No, but okay, some people are saying that, well, the American president, that's Trump, was recently disgraced by Chinese when he went to discuss some,
yes, in Seoul,
South Korea. In South Korea, and that satellite images and reports have indicated that Nigeria has large deposit of lithium and rare earth minerals.
Yep.
And that, because of the need by American industry to have such minerals, Trump is also using this as an excuse to come into Nigeria and to ensure that these minerals stay in American hands and not go to the Chinese or the BRICS countries. And also some are saying that, the policies undertaken by President Tinubu, especially the latest policy on 15% tariff on petroleum imports, does not go well with Trump. And perhaps maybe he's trying to see what he can do or what America will do to ensure that they play more active role than they've been doing in Nigeria. How do you react to that?
You see, the truth of the matter is this. Nigeria is so blessed that nobody knows how blessed we are apart from the creator of Nigeria. Not Tinubu, not Minister of Petroleum Resources, not Minister of Mineral Resources, nobody. Not even the white man knows how much we have under our soils. Let me tell you, look, Trump, America must come to Nigeria. Let me take you back during Jonathan. May Allah bless Jonathan. And may Allah also bless David Mark, who was Senate President at then. America wanted to create their own presence in Nigeria as far as 2012. And Jonathan's greatest sin, why America wanted him out under Obama, was that he refused to allow America to have her own base in Nigeria, courtesy of David Mark. Number two, the same National Assembly advised him not to allow the LGBTQ bill to be actualized in Nigeria. But
Trump is not somebody who is supporting Obama, the LGBT. So if
I'm telling you a history under Obama. Now, Trump is interested in having resources in Nigeria, not only in Nigeria, almost all over the world. And Nigeria is a special interest. And if Trump is a practicing Christian and they're using American bombs, American rifles on Christians in Gaza, churches were bombed in Gaza, churches were bombed in Syria, Christians were massacred in Syria, in Lebanon. And he was talking about Christians in Nigeria. Khan in Nigeria came out and said that it's a lie. Christians are being killed, Muslims are being killed. In my village, when the bandits come, they don't look at Christians or Muslims, they kill or they kidnap. There is no differentiality, there are no differentials there. So American force, American interest is what is pushing them to Nigeria. And I can assure you, if they come, it's not going to be business as usual. Let me tell you, if you read Frederick Lugard's book, The Dual Mandate, in one of the chapters, he said, the greatest strength of this nation is its unpredictability. Nigeria is unpredictable.
So, but let me just take it from there.
Exactly.
Well, since the independence of Nigeria, we've never faced a situation where America, has made direct threat of military intervention. All along, it's been a matter of, veiled threats and, intelligence estimates and all that. But we have a situation now where there's a direct threat of military intervention in Nigeria, and with the unpredictability of President Trump, it's likely it's going to happen. So How prepared are we, and how prepared are we to cope with this eventuality?
You have two questions.
Apart from rhetorics, let's see the practicality of it.
There are two questions in these statements. One, historically, this is not the first time they are giving us direct. The only thing is that the first two direct threats, they met leaders on ground. They met General Murtala Muhammad. Remember Gerald Ford's letter to General Murtala Muhammad that he published? Yes. Gerald Ford, go to hell, America shut up. It's a direct threat to Murtala Muhammad and Nigeria. Murtala called their bluffs. Abacha called their bluffs. And so how prepared are we? If the government is not prepared, Mr. Ilyasu, I can assure you that Nigerian citizens are prepared for America.
How? Just tell me. Apart from rhetorics. Apart from just rhetorics.
This is national secrets. It's confidential. America will not tell you we are coming with this. It's their secret also. I can assure you, if America is coming, tell them. As far as Nigerians are concerned, not Nigerian government, not Nigerian state, not Nigerian president, not senate, not ministers, not governors. Nigerian citizens, not me and you that are sitting in this studio talking. Nigerian citizens on the street, in the crannies and the nooks, in the villages and towns, they are waiting for America. For every American Marine, there is a graveyard to be buried alive. Nigerians are ready and willing. We are well prepared. And we are willing and ready to follow Mr.
But in a situation
President.
whereby some Nigerians are saying, look, it's a welcome development.
How many of them? How many of them?
Don't you think?
These are Facebookers. People on Facebook. Look, have you ever seen a country war being won on Facebook? These people that are making noise are Facebookers. If they are what we call urban gorillas in political science, nobody knows them in their village. They are only in Abuja, Lagos, Kaduna, Port Harcourt, or Kano. Nobody knows them. And even in Kano, they are in the selected areas. They are not in the mainstream towns that they are making noise. And these are the people that if America comes and say, come and join American Marines to fight Nigerian army, they won't come. A Nigerian military man is well trained, well motivated, and well. The only thing is that there are gaps which the government could not fill. America is worse than Nigeria. American Marines are no longer motivated. They are crying. They can't even buy bread. Who will come? When they went to Iraq, I did my PhD on Iraq, American invasion of Iraq. The entire people that were in Green Zone, how many of them are Americans? How many of them are Anglo-Irish, Anglo-Jew, or Anglo-Saxon? These are true Americans.
Yeah, but you see,
Nigerians in American Marine, Scandinavians, Filipinos, Bangladeshis. These are non-Americans. They are the foot soldiers, foot on the sun. You will never see a blue-blooded American. They will never bring them into Nigeria. They will mobilize Africans who are in American army to come. And let me tell you, Mr. Malam Ilyasu, I can swear by Allah, somebody who is a mercenary will fight to fight another day. Nigerians, if America comes, will fight to become martyrs of the nation.
No, but
we are going to become patriots and nationalists.
Prof, let's be realistic on this issue. Let's be realistic. Yeah. Let's be realistic. In a country where you have all kinds of differences, religion, ethnicity, regional, whatever, people are at each other's throat. People hate themselves more than, there's a lot of hatred around in Nigeria. People can see eye to eye. People think the worst of other people, themselves and other people. How are you going to face a very, very formidable enemy, a superpower like America that can cut off your lights, cut off your communication system and move in here without you even knowing? So how are we going to do? Even a country like Iran that has so much on its plate in terms of military capabilities could not stop the Americans from bombing them to smithereens. How can you do that?
They only bombed Iran and ran away. You know what they did?
Yeah, but they made a lot of damages.
On one side, and they had damages. Iran had damages on the other side. Let me say we should be very realistic. Let's be very realistic. Do you think America, as it is today, can fight war?
It has the ordinance to do that.
Okay, let me make the question more simpler for our viewers. Has America ever in her history won a war fighting alone? In history, from 1776, when they got their independence, freedom from Britain, until today, has America ever won a war fighting alone? Never. Never. Nigeria is not going to be an exception. They moved out of Vietnam shamefully. They tucked their tail in between of their legs out of Afghanistan recently. America has never won any war. They will create coalition, alliance with 30 people. But who will follow them now? And let me tell you, and this is not like before. We have China will not look away when they're destroying Nigeria. Russia will not look away when they're destroying Nigeria. Nigerians will not look away when they're destroying Nigeria. And Americans themselves, they are war weary. And look, Madam, if you read military politics of today, American Marines are tired. And you cannot win war by just dropping bombs. You must be on the sand, on the land. Why are they going to have their own military bases?
In the situation where you don't have diplomatic assets on ground in America, you don't have an ambassador, you have not had ambassadors. I mean, Nigeria has not had ambassadors for the past 2 years. And, you know, if people are saying if we'd had ambassadors, we could at least have, you know, kept track of this development and, put our ambassador and our diplomats on track to go and discuss and make sure that these things do not get to the point where it has gotten to now. How can we now resolve these issues with Americans? Do we go the hard way or the soft way, or are we going to mobilize? We are going to do some damage control through some diplomats, seasoned diplomats and statesmen of us. What would you recommend us to do in this situation that we found ourselves, diplomatically and whatever? Since military is a matter of not here or there.
You see, as far as I'm concerned, there is Nigerian embassy in Washington. Even with that, there is no ambassador there. There is Nigerian embassy.
Yeah, but then you know that in diplomacy, if you don't have a very, the head of the...
that's number one. Number two, I'm 100% sure there is American embassy in Abuja with ambassador.
Yes.
So if the United States government wants any information, vertically or horizontally,
why should you expect American ambassador in Nigeria to carry your case? Why can't you have an ambassador in America to...
There is somebody who is superintending Nigerian... Look, let me give a fundamental question. Must a country have embassy in another country?
Of course, yes. In a country like America...
No, America is... Look, if I'm president of Nigeria, I cannot have embassy in America. It's my choice. And they cannot force Nigeria to send ambassador, because if Mr. President, based on intelligent information, based on economic reality, based on this, based on that, realize that sending ambassadors across the world now is not good for Nigeria and Nigerians. So be it. If it is good, it's good for the government.
No. I don't. I think it is necessary for us to have ambassadors in very important countries like America, like Germany, like UK.
Why?
We need to, because we have a lot of trade, security, and all kinds of relationship with them. And issues like this too. Because if we had an ambassador, look, you have a charge d'affaires who is not of full ambassadorial level.
He cannot take a decision on behalf of Nigeria.
Of course he can't.
Thank you very much.
And also, don't forget, no foreign country would really take you serious if you don't have a full ambassadorial position, because they will believe that a charge d'affaires is not of commensurate...
Why do you want foreign countries to define your seriousness?
No, why? You have to... on this issue now...
I am Mr. President. I say my charge d'affaires is my own representative in your country. Must I send an ambassador?
But by diplomatic conventions, the charge d'affaires
Who defines diplomacy?
Is there. The conventions are there.
The convention, I'm following the convention. I don't have the economic means to send an ambassador.
Do you really believe that Nigeria should not have an ambassador in Washington?
Why not?
Now that we are having this issue?
Why not? Why not?
No, I don't think so. I don't think Nigerians will agree.
Opinion. It's not Nigerian government's opinion, Mr. Ilyasu. This is your personal opinion. Even myself, I'm giving you my personal opinion, not government opinion. We are not privy to why government is not sending ambassadors. Did we ask our government?
Not just even America. For the past 2 years, we've not had ambassadors.
That is good for Nigeria.
Practically in diplomacy, we are just...
What has stopped because of that? Nothing.
This issue has come up.
If you put 100 ambassadors in the Nigerian embassy in Washington, Trump will do what he did. It won't change anything.
Yeah, but what would it change? What would it change?
It won't change anything.
It has not changed. Why do you say that? Because now Americans are now threatening to intervene in our country. They are going to gather all the necessary support and momentum to come into Nigeria. We don't have a person there to be able to look at what's happening, to engage American, politicians and American lobby groups to be able to see, to at least persuade, the American government. America is a country of lobbyists. It's a country where you get your way through lobbying, and we don't have a representative of Nigeria in that
No, don't say so.
jurisdiction?
We have an embassy with staff
with
working there.
with full diplomatic.
Full is your own definition. It's not the definition of a government. And who told you that we must run our embassies based on American wills and cap prices? We must run our embassy based on British wills and cap prices, and an old lady like British, or a dying empire like America. Look, we have our embassies all over the world with that ambassadors, and yet things are going on. Are we fighting with Russia? Are we fighting with China? Are we fighting with Nigeria? Are we fighting with South Africa? We are members of BRICS. We are members of United Nations. We are members of African Union. So we don't have ambassadors in those countries. Yet things are being done. Nigeria must be sovereign. We must define how we do things, why we do things, and where we do things. That is sovereignty. We must be sovereign both internally and externally. So we should not allow, I can assure you, if you give 100 ambassadors to America, 2 per state, and apart from those who are in the United Nations in New York, Trump will do what he did without any apology. So I bow, I respect, I doff my hat to President Tinubu. There is no need to send ambassadors to go and do. What are the economic benefits of Nigerian
in effect, you are recommending that we shut down our diplomatic
missions?
Yes,
we shut down until we say that it is necessary, it is beneficial, it is valuable to us.
So what about follow-ups? President Tinubu has gone to do some sign some agreements, some issues with some countries.
There are some staffs at the embassies. It doesn't have to be ambassador. Why do you want to have cost very, very expensive
anyway,
embassies?
Going back to this issue, now Americans have us on their sides, and we are talking about how we can respond, whether to engage the Americans directly or whether to go through back channel diplomacy, at least to stave off this impending impending intervention. I don't want to use that. Impending intervention on Nigeria. At least let us see how we can do to be able to stave off, military intervention, which they are threatening. What can we do? Do we send people out there to go and talk to the Americans back channel, or do we get countries to do that?
You want an honest truth? If Tinubu is planning to go to lobby, diplomatic or otherwise, to pacify America on this, I'm going to lead demonstration tomorrow against Tinubu in Abuja. We don't need the Americans. If they come, we take care of them. Look, wars are not won by weapons. And look, America has everything. They have the naval force, they have the air base, blah, blah. But you cannot win war by bombing and staying in the air or inside the sea. You must come on the land. We are waiting for them. Look, North Korea, in 2002, January 2002, when George Bush Jr. addressed the world about the axis of 7 axis of evil, what did Kim Jong-il told him? He said, look, America, we had to loud and clear. If you come to Pyongyang, we are waiting for you. You can only stay on air or far away from the seas, but we can take you of 8,000 kilometer radius. What happened? 1 month after, they send them almost $1 billion aid. Look, sometimes,
okay,
Professor, we are with BRICS. The BRICS control almost over 40% of the global economy, and it's still counted, Mr. Ilyasu. Look, through propaganda and lies, we have been beaten blue and black with propaganda and lies that America can sniff life out of you within 1 hour.
But let's get real. Let's get real. We also have to look at our own internal situations. There needs to be a lot of fence mending, a lot of
who and who.
No, in Nigeria, we need to do that within Nigerians. The areas that are aggrieved by these issues.
I give example.
For instance, where we have all this, terrorism going on in the northwest, in the north central, in northeast communities that have been affected. There are people who have been really, really affected. Let's see how we can get them together. Let's see how we can get people together and say, look, hey, government is going to come in and all that. That's what we're talking about.
Exactly.
And that is what is needed. Let us mend our house before anybody comes from outside. That is what should be the next step. Do you see the government doing this in the event of this with this threat hanging on our necks?
You see, me, I don't want to talk about this thread hanging on our necks. You asked me a question about internal cohesion, how Nigeria can solve Nigerians' problem. Let me tell you, personally, I have tremendous respect for Bola Ahmed Tinubu, but he has one of the worst cabinet in Nigerian history. They don't have capacity to carry this country through. I can tell you this. That's number one. At federal level, Tinubu is alone. Nobody is adding value to him. He called 10 people for advice. They can't give him one good advice because they don't have capacity. Look at his cabinet. They are washed out. Buhari faced the same thing. No governor in Nigeria is performing above average. In Zamfara, in Kebbi, in Niger, in Katsina. Why can't they resign as governors? They fail. There is trust deficit between leadership and followership in Nigeria. When you say there is mistrust, I want you to come out categorically between who and who.
No, okay, for instance.
Ilyasu, between me and you, the fight is between me and you. If you go back to your villagers don't know that there is another somebody in my village. They live happily, they meet in the market, they meet in the masjid or in the church or inside buses. It is elites like you and I that are fighting in Nigeria. And the elites are very key, very strategic to the politics of Nigeria. The time is winding down on the elites. You understand? Tinubu is saving Nigerian elites by giving so much money to Nigerian governors to pacify citizens at the grassroots level. But they are chopping the money. They are not doing anything. So if you ask me a sincere thing, is that the solution is not at the federal level. The solution is at the grassroots level. The governors are virtually doing nothing. Zero.
Okay, one of the issues involved in the CPC thing is that American government, apart from military intervention, American government can take economic sanctions, can take all kinds of, actions that would now, put Nigeria on the spot. Economic sanctions in a country suffering, this type of economic issues in the country right now is definitely going to be very, very terrible on Nigerians. There's also visa restrictions. All of these are options that the American government has put on the table. And I said none of them, is off the table. And these are things that we faced under the CPC as well as the military. I do not see what the government is doing to cope with this, because these are things that will cripple Nigerian economy, will cause social problems and all that.
Malam Ilyasu, let's truth be told. Trade embargo can only make sense in a country that an average citizen depends on foreign consumptions. Trade embargo. That's number one. In Nigeria, an average Nigerian does not depend on foreign consumption. How can American trade embargo on Nigeria affect somebody in my village under Mountain Cameroon in Adamawa State who has hardly even have access to Coca-Cola, which is an American brand in Nigeria?
I'm talking about a country that's hopelessly dependent on imports.
The hopelessly dependent is people like you and I, elites. Look,
and we run the country.
No,
we determine the fate of the country.
No, we ruin the country. We keep on ruining the country. The visa embargo is for you and me. My people don't know that there is airport in Yola. Somebody will be born in my village until he died, 98 years. He has not been into Yola airport. Because it doesn't bother.
But he travels to Mecca.
If he's privileged.
Yeah, quite.
And even at that, it is like you and me, cheating. He pays 8 million naira instead of 1 million. Because that's what is happening in Nigeria. Those who are going to Mecca have been cheated.
But Prof, that...
Look, Malam Ilyasu, look, to take this thing in its proper perspective, the CPC will have no direct bearing on an average Nigerian.
You sure?
I'm 100% sure. I'm a political economist and a developmental expert. I have PhD in that, I have masters in that, and I have certificates in conflictology and alternative paradigms. And I taught several across the globe, not only in Nigeria. And I am telling you sincerely, economic policies on embargo and tariffs can only work if the entire, look, If you go to Saudi Arabia, you put trade embargo, it will work. They don't even produce cassava. They import everything.
But do you have enough? Do you have enough to take care of yourself?
Yes,
you get
for the common man, he has enough. For the common man, he has enough. It's me and you that we don't have enough. If you talk about Nigeria, Nigerians are not in good terms. They are fighting. Even on the Facebook, it's the sons and daughters who got free education in Nigeria that are busy disturbing us on Facebook. And most of them, they don't even go to class. They have poor professors that gave them free certificates as degrees. If they go back to their villages, they can't speak the same language to their parents the way they are speaking on Facebook. That's the truth of the matter. So look, I am not happy America puts Nigeria under CPC. It's wrong. It's unacceptable. It cannot be justified. But simply because Trump has hidden agenda with Tinubu as an individual, with Tinubu as president, with Tinubu as leader of Nigeria, that's aside. And if Tinubu is wise, which I expect him to be, he should sit down in Abuja, crack his brain. There are over 14,000 embargoes on Iran since 1979.
Can we survive that? Can we survive those?
Nigeria is more richer, more blessed, more recent than Iran. There are over 19,000 embargoes on the Soviet Union. The ruble is one of the strongest currencies on earth. In tier world, go and read economics of the world now. Middle class Russia has the best now.
Okay, well,
over 19.
I want us to, before we wrap up, I want us to look at, well, what we need to do. We've talked about it. What the president needs to do, we've talked about it. But the question now, or rather, I want you to wrap up on this. Are there going to be other measures against Nigeria in view of what Trump and his people are saying? I mean, for instance, should we expect that there is going to be American intervention or American, regime change in Nigeria? And if that's a possibility, what can we do to stop it or to at least prevent it from happening?
You see, first and foremost,
as a wrap-up,
is that my prayer is this: under the CPC, if Trump is sincere and honest, he should freeze all Nigerian assets in America because they are stolen properties by Nigerian elites.
That would be extremist, isn't it?
No, it's not extreme. If they wanted to help Nigerian Christians, every Christian Nigerian that stole money and put it in America, they should freeze that assets and return it back to Nigeria. And if they do that, then we'll begin to take him seriously. Otherwise, he's not helping Nigerian Christians because there are Christian resources that were stolen in Nigeria in billions of dollars that are in America, helping the American economy. Let him freeze that assets, return them back to Nigeria, and insist America should supervise that they should use these particular resources to develop Christian villages and towns in Nigeria.
So thank you very much, Prof. I think we've done quite a lot of justice on the subject. We can do some other time. But viewers, that's a wrap on this week's edition of Sunday Politics. We'll be back with Daily Politics tomorrow as usual. Don't miss out. Until then, on behalf of the team, I'm Ilyasu Gadu. Bye for now.